Alrighty. Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G Lauren 33. I am back here tonight with your Monday Night Raw review and results for September 16th, 2019. Alright. I want to welcome everyone once again who's here for tonight's podcast. We've been going very, very hard lately. I've been posting a lot of WWE content the last couple weeks. Just before we get into tonight's show, we're going to be discussing, the King of the Ring finals. We're going to be talking about Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. We're going to be talking about Sasha Banks and Becky, their feud continuing. We're going to talk about Rusev returning, the whole Ricochet being buried. I have a lot to talk about. There's probably going to be a little bit of ranting here and there because definitely this was not a good show. All right, yes, a lot happened on this show. You can say that. A lot did happen on tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw, but, it was still a very bad show. Very bad show in my eyes. And thing is, we're only less than 3 weeks away from Hell in a Cell. We're less than 4 weeks away from the WWE draft and SmackDown moving to Fox officially. So there's a lot to talk about. And if this is what WWE is giving us, man, then, WWE is going to be even in more trouble because we have NXT debuting on Wednesday, AEW debuting on TNT in just a couple weeks. And man, oh man, WWE needs to get its act together. And if this show was anything to go off of, WWE is not off to a good start. Not off to a good start as we enter the fall season, man. Even though we see kind of where they're going with some of these Hell in a Cell matches, which we'll talk about on tonight's show, still, it was a very, very badly booked edition of Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. But we'll talk about all of that. Real quickly, social media, the links to that are always in the description down below. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. I love talking to you guys, so you guys know how to get in contact with me if you guys want to talk wrestling, sports, etc. You guys know the deal there. Hell in a Cell review, all right? I want to thank everyone once again who came to the Hell in a Cell live stream last night. We did react to most of the Hell in a Cell card. And for those who came out to the Hell in a Cell review afterwards, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank everyone who came through for the review. Great to see everyone there and all the love and support being shown on those videos. All right. Yeah, we're gonna get into Monday Night Raw. Let me just pull up the notes really quickly. All right, here we go. But yes, Monday Night Raw, man. It was a bad show. It was a bad show. Even with even with Sasha, man, even Sasha wasn't enough for me to give this show a thumbs up. This show was not good tonight at all. So there's probably going to be a heavy amount of me ranting. I'm going to try not to be too loud or, because I have people sleeping in my house. But either way, let's get into it. So the show kicked off, of course, with Seth Rollins, the Universal Champion, coming off, even though he lost the Raw Tag Team Championships with Braun Strowman. He talked about how he was able to successfully defend the Universal Championship in the main event. Seth Rollins, we hear all this that they're trying to make Seth Rollins look cool. I still don't see it. They're just making Seth, as I always say, instead of making Seth Rollins look cool, WWE makes Seth Rollins look more and more stupid by the day. But Seth goes into his promo. He talks about basically, I'm trying to figure out. All right, my notes. All right. Seth Rollins put over the work of Braun Strowman, which I'm not going to sit here and lie. That Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman was probably the best singles match we've seen Braun Strowman have on the main roster in the last 3 years. That's being honest. It was a good match for what it was. All right, because we all know Braun Strowman is very limited in the ring, very limited. But what he did, and we're all going to remember probably the thing we're going to remember most of that match is seeing Braun Strowman with the crossbody off the top rope. After that, Seth goes into being attacked by Bray Wyatt after the show. At the end of the show, the lights went dark and he was knocked unconscious. And when he woke up, the crowd was leaving and the lights were back on and Wyatt was gone. But basically, Wyatt then interrupted. And I love Bray Wyatt's work. I love these Firehouse promos. Man, there was part of me thinking, eventually will we ever get tired of these? Because WWE just loves to push stuff to the brim and eventually make us get tired of something. We saw multiple. I think we saw 3 or 4 Firefly Funhouse segments tonight. It didn't really bother me, but I know over time, slowly, WWE continues because they know how popular. Outside of what Sasha and Becky are doing, Bray Wyatt is easily the most over, probably the best thing going in the entire company right now. All right, Bray Wyatt, what he's doing with this character, the Fiend character, this mega push he's getting, I absolutely love it. Even though I disagree that he should be getting rushed into this Hell in a Cell match and getting rushed into the Universal Championship, but it is what it is. And if you're gonna push Bray Wyatt that quickly, there's no you have to give him the Universal Championship. You have to. The guy is mega over right now, even though they're trying to portray him as a heel in a way. The fans love the gimmick. Everywhere you go, they're going yowie wowie. I'm seeing more and more Bray Wyatt Fiend t-shirts in the crowd each and every week. I absolutely love it. But Wyatt interrupted Seth. And then Wyatt, and I love how Wyatt, this basically refers to the Fiend, as a third person, because Bray, talks about himself because the Fiend is Bray's alter ego. He's referring to himself in the third person, and I love it. Wyatt wants Rollins to be his new best friend. Basically, what Wyatt means by that is every time he attacks somebody, no matter if it was Jerry the King Lawler or Kurt Angle or Mick Foley, or as we saw later tonight with Kane, which I'll rant about a little bit later. Don't worry. For for my OG fans, my OG listeners, you guys know how I feel about Kane. All right. But we'll get to Kane a little bit later in the show. But basically, so when Wyatt attacks somebody, basically he calls him his friend in a way. It goes perfectly with Bray Wyatt's gimmick. And the Fiend had not forgotten about their history. So definitely one of the next things in the storyline is definitely for Bray, because Bray has mentioned this a lot over the last couple weeks, that the Fiend never forgets. And him and Rollins have history. He's also been on the record saying that Rollins took something from him once. I don't remember what it was. I can't really think of it off the top of my head. But, the next one of the things that we should look to doing with the Fiend in the next couple weeks is have Bray explain what Rollins did to him, the history that him and Rollins have. I can't even remember the history off the top of my head, but for Bray to, explain what Seth took from him and why, Bray has chosen Seth as his attacker. Yes, clearly Bray wants the Universal Championship. But the thing about it is, you mentioned, Bray has not mentioned the Universal title at all. He just mentions how he wants Seth to be his best friend and how, he'll see Seth in hell. Bray has mentioned nothing about the Universal title yet. So it's going to be very interesting in the next couple of weeks to see how, Bray explains why he's going after Seth. But then, Bray mentions how the Fiend said hello to Rollins at Clash Champions, and maybe how the Fiend will say hello once again tonight. And the crowd popped so hard. This Nashville crowd was pretty ass. Last night's crowd at Clash Champions was one of the best crowds of the entire year, in my opinion, for the main roster. But tonight's crowd in Nashville was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible, man. I'm telling you, I don't know. It seems like when WWE gets into some of these states down in the South, like Louisiana, like Nashville, like North and South Carolina, even though the crowd for Clash Champions was pretty damn good, some of these crowds down in the South, man, are just very weak. Very, very weak. And it's becoming more and more noticeable because WWE does a lot of shows down in the South area. But Wyatt teases bringing out the Fiend character, but he laughs it off for now. And he'll say he'll see Seth later on. I loved the Bray Wyatt's work in this character, in this segment. Seth. It's gonna be very interesting to see how they build Seth. Because at the end of the day, yes, the Fiend has to look strong. The Fiend can't be losing to anybody. All right. The Fiend has to look strong, but you also need Seth to look strong. You want to make Seth look cool in a way, right? WWE, you want to make Seth look cool. This easily Bray Wyatt is probably, other than AJ Styles, easily, and Brock Lesnar, This is probably going to be Rollins' toughest task as Universal Champion. All right. We've seen him beat Styles. We've seen him lose to Lesnar and regain the title. We've seen him beat Strowman. All right. We've seen him beat, Baron Corbin, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the program as well. But when you look at it, right, this is probably the toughest task of Rollins' title run. He doesn't know. He hasn't been he's been in the ring with Bray, but he hasn't been in the ring with The Fiend, a completely different character with a completely different wrestling style. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Rollins tackles this obstacle, all right, and how WWE tries to build it. So, because at the end of the day, Rollins is your Universal Champion. You have to have him look. You have to give us some sense that Rollins has a fighting chance against Wyatt. Even though I'm 100% sure that Wyatt's gonna win at Hell in a Cell, I have no doubt that Wyatt is becoming Universal Champion at Hell in a Cell. But you have to make us believe in some way that Rollins has some sort of chance. Some sort of change. And it's not going to be like Lesnar versus Cena at SummerSlam from 2014. All right, we'll see how WWE does that, though. They still have 2 more weeks to do that. Yes, Hell in a Cell will be here legit in less than 3 weeks, 20 days from now. So we'll see how WWE builds Rollins in the next 2 weeks. Next up, this was terrible. This is one of the shows. I don't know what the hell WWE was thinking here. So at Clash Champions, you crowned the Revival as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You also had Ziggler and Rude become the Tag Team Champions. You had a Tag Team Summit. You had both teams come out and talk about how they're both now, champions, how they are now the standard of the tag team division on both Raw and SmackDown, etc., etc. And you had Strowman just come out and destroy all 4 of these men. 2 of the best, the Revival, one of the best tag teams in the entire company. Rude and Ziggler, both WWE veterans who are your Raw tag team champions. And you had Strowman come out and destroy them. Why? For what? For what reason? This is another indication. I've been saying this now for 2 weeks. You need to move Strowman over the SmackDown. He needs a new, fresh start. The only reason why they did this segment is because they had nothing better for Strowman tonight. He lost the AJ Styles for the United States title a couple weeks ago, right? He lost the Raw tag team titles last night at Clash Champions to Ziggler and Rude, and now Seth. It looks like Seth is not teaming again with Strowman anytime soon. And then we see Strowman, he lost another big title match in the main event of Clash Champions against Rollins. So now what? What was the point? You legit had Strowman come out and bury basically the tag team division in 2 minutes. It wasn't even a match. He just legit came out and destroyed both the Revival and Ziggler and Rude. Why? And WWE doesn't put an emphasis on tag team wrestling. This is just what they tell me. This was the WWE just telling you, hey, we don't care about the tag team division. It doesn't matter. It's stupid. It's retarded. I absolutely hate WWE's logic, man. We actually, speaking of other tag teams, I'll just get this out of the way since we're speaking on the issue of tag teams. AOP. I've been saying this for months. Where has AOP been? All right, go back and watch the Raw reviews. I've been complaining, where's AOP? I'm not saying they're one of my favorite teams in the entire company, but they're definitely a formidable tag team. And the WWE tag team division right now needs as many teams as possible. I looked at SmackDown Live's tag team division. They actually had a decent tag team division. And Raw's tag team division isn't bad as well, but yet WWE does not put an emphasis on tag team wrestling. All right, we've seen AOP tonight. They gave a promo backstage really about who they were, how basically they came to WWE to fight, but it seems like no one wants to fight them. And they mentioned how the same thing happened to them when they were in mixed martial arts. Anybody they wanted to fight people, but they know everyone would run away from them. So this was basically AOP's reintroduction to the WWE universe. So definitely, I'm willing to bet we won't see AOP wrestle again, probably until the WWE draft, which will either get drafted to the Raw or SmackDown. Both brands. It's gonna be interesting to see because based on what WWE's saying, the wild card rule will finally be over. Finally be over once we have the WWE draft. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. We'll actually have 2 clear-cut divisions on both shows. Also the Usos, like I've been saying, the AOP is now back. Now it's time to replace AOP with the Usos. Where the hell are the Usos? We need WWE's definitely gonna need them, especially with this draft going up. What up, Sleeping Angels? What up, bro? But instead, having Strowman come out there, like I said, having Strowman come out there and bury the tag team division like he did tonight, absolute garbage. This was terrible. They should have never done that. All right, you know, this is why people don't care about Strowman. And when it comes to big matches, he doesn't win. He doesn't perform to the level he should be. He should. But then the next night they'll always have him destroy superstars in catering or just destroy tag team champions or whatever. Whatever. They'll build Strowman up as a beast, right? But in anything other than a big time match. Anything other than a big time match, Strowman looks like a beast. But hey, this is why we don't care about Strowman. Strowman needs to be moved to SmackDown Live easily. We had the OC versus the Viking Raiders and Cedric Alexander. This was not a bad match. This match was actually given a decent amount of time. Definitely, I'm not surprised they did this match tonight because based off of the last couple weeks, we've seen these two teams have issues with each other. You know, mainly not the revival. The Viking Raiders had issues with the OC based on stepping all the way back to that tag team gauntlet we had about 3 weeks back. And Cedric and AJ have been feuding over the United States title the last couple weeks. But the way they're making it look right now, they're basically making it look like Cedric's out of the title scene. And I know there's been a lot of reports of Paul Heyman being very high on Cedric and wanting to push him. But based on what we've seen, it's like they're trying to end this program very fast. You had AJ defeat Cedric last night at Clash of Champions clean. I got to mention that clean. Then tonight, you had Styles hit a beautiful, phenomenal forearm on Cedric. Cedric sold it so well. The only other person I've seen sell the phenomenal forearm as well as Cedric did tonight was Ricochet. When Ricochet legit did a backflip when selling for that. But AJ picks up the win for the OC. The OC defeat Alexander and the Viking Raiders. After that, we see AJ continue attacking Cedric. This fires up a post-match brawl between the two sides. Basically, it ended with Cedric tried to hit a Hurricane Rana off the top rope on AJ, but AJ was able to reverse it into the Styles Clash from the middle rope. And that is that. Part of me wants to believe that Paul Heyman actually wants to push Cedric Alexander, but it's hard to believe that based off of the way this guy's been booked the last couple of weeks. It's inconsistent booking. Right? In 1 week, he's winning matches in the King of the Ring tournament. Next thing, he's being eliminated. The next thing you know, they build him up to become the United States title number one contender. And they let this guy perform. He puts on good matches with AJ and other people, but instead they have him lose. They had him lose cleanly at Clash of Champions, and then they had him lose once again tonight. If I'm AJ and I'm the heel champion, I'll be like, I pinned this guy clean 2 nights in a row. I'm done with you. I have nothing else to do with you. I defend my title. Find me a new challenger. But we'll have to wait and see, if they're planning to continue this in the Hell in a Cell or if they're going to plan to have AJ and Cedric have a match. We'll have to wait and see on that. What happened? What's next on this show? King of the Ring. The King of the Ring finals. King of the Ring finals. We had Baron Corbin versus Chad Gable. And first off, I'll say, this was a great match. This was one of the very, very, very small positives on this show. All right, maybe one of the 2-3 things that I actually liked on the show. This was a great match. They gave these two time to tell the story, and basically, this is what the King of the Ring tournament is about. 2 people going at it to prove who is the best. Who is the best? And, I love the Chad Gable with the underdog storyline. Baron Corbin being the man that nobody wanted to win, But this was a great match. I'm not gonna lie, Baron Corbin has put on some fantastic matches. Did some fantastic matches during this. No matter if it was with Cedric or Ricochet, the triple threat with Joe and Ricochet, etc. I'm forgetting who else Corbin faced, but Corbin looked very great, and this just showed that when having the right matchup, Corbin's very great in the ring. Chad Gable, take nothing away from him. Gable had an amazing run. Definitely with the underdog storyline. And hopefully they continue that underdog storyline with Chad Gable going forward, no matter if he's on Raw or SmackDown after the draft. I could definitely see them going down the route with Gable, him being an underdog challenger for potentially someone like Shinsuke Nakamura in the IC title, if they want to go down that direction. Or, you could always have Ricochet, not Ricochet, you always move Gable to Raw in the draft and have him go after the United States Championship and go after AJ Styles. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing one of those two programs for Gable. I think Gable's definitely earned it and definitely, turned some eyes with his performances in this tournament. But the real star of this tournament was easily Baron Corbin. And I've been very hard on Baron Corbin, especially, post-WrestleMania with that disgusting feud he had with Seth Rollins that should have ended at Super Showdown and went all the way through Extreme Rules. Pure garbage. But Baron Corbin did great in this tournament. All right, I'm not going to sit here and lie. He did great. Baron Corbin did great in this tournament. And the King of the Ring tournament is really meant for heels. It's one of those things that's meant for a heel to win. Usually when it comes to stuff like the Royal Rumble, that's meant for baby faces. But when it comes to stuff like Money in the Bank and King of the Ring tournaments, those are usually meant to build up a heel. All right, and yes, Baron Corbin is pretty deserving. Baron Corbin is pretty deserving to be King of the Ring based off his sheer performance in this tournament. But I'm going to say, where did they go from here with Corbin? He's one King of the Ring, right? But where did they go from here? And I know tomorrow night, I'm not sure if we're going to have the SmackDown Live review. We'll see. If something big happens, we'll definitely do a review. But it's going to be interesting to see, what they have planned for Corbin's coordination. This is supposed to be the whole point of King of the Ring. The winner of the King of the Ring is supposed to be built up and entered the main event scene. But even though Corbin won this tournament, I think we can all agree that the main event scene does not need Corbin. We don't want Corbin in the main event scene. That was already proven this year when we saw the garbage that he put on with Seth Rollins in that 2-3 month feud that they had over the Universal title. I don't want to see Corbin anywhere near the main event scene. Not at all. All right, let's be serious. Corbin, he's won Money in the Bank and then failed. He failed at cash-in. We all remember that day when he tried to cash in on Jinder, and he failed miserably. We've seen Corbin as Constable Corbin when he was basically the GM of Raw in a way. And he failed at that. He failed at being, I think he was the United States champion a couple years ago. He failed at that. WWE took the title off him right away because they felt like he wasn't doing anything with the title at that time. What else has he done? I'm hoping this isn't leading for Corbin becoming Universal Champion. All right. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here because him winning King of the Ring is supposed to propel him straight into the main event scene. Straight back into the Universal title picture. Maybe he gets moved from Raw to SmackDown. And maybe, he might challenge someone like Kofi Kingston or whatever. But we'll have to wait and see. Corbin's just been presented as a loser for so many years on WWE television. It's just, I just don't know. Yes, he's deserving of winning the King of the Ring tournament based off of the quality matches he put on in this tournament. But still, we'll have to wait and see where they go with Corbin. But remember, we have his coordination tomorrow night on SmackDown, and maybe that will give us an idea of what's next for Corbin. Moving on, we had, oh my gosh, Maria. We had Maria's gender reveal party. This is easy. I don't even know how to describe this. This was absolute garbage. None of what we saw should have been on TV tonight. I don't know Whoever's idea this was to write this into the script for Raw, you need to be fired immediately. All right, even I don't even know how the hell Paul Heyman, he's supposed to be the executive director for Raw. How the hell, how in the world do you allow some garbage like that to get on national TV? How? It makes zero sense to me. Anybody with a brain, anybody with a common sense would know that what we saw tonight with that Maria Korea segment was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. So they have the gender reveal party. They had the gender reveal party for Maria. And basically, it's hosted by the Street Profits, which I'm getting pretty sick and tired. I love the Street Profits, but I'm getting pretty sick and tired of them, doing these hosting duties. Like, can we get the Street Profits in the ring, please? Can we please get the Street Profits in the ring? Like, come on. They have Tag Team Gold written all over them. Like, come on. You can have them feud with legit anybody. You can have them feud with the Revival if you want for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Or you could have them go after Rude and Ziggler. And their babyface team will already be behind them. I don't understand how dumb WWE is. I'm legit telling you how to book the Street Profits, and they're not listening. Disappointing. But they have Maria reveal. Congratulations. Her child's going to be a baby boy. Congratulations on that for Maria and Mike. But per storyline, they had basically Maria revealed that Mike is not the father of her baby. Instead, they had Maria reveal that Ricochet, yes, you're not hearing that wrong, they had Maria on live TV say that Ricochet is the father of her baby. And that's the fact. Ricochet went from NXT, all right, putting on A+ matches in NXT with Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream, Matt Riddle, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on. Roger, you guys get the point. Ricochet went up to being one of the top stars in NXT, winning championships, having 5-star matches, and then he comes to the main roster, and he's absolutely buried. After the night, Ricochet is buried in my eyes. All right, and they had the fact that they had Ricochet come out and say, "Oh, like Mike, believe me, Mike, believe me, man. I would never do that, man. I would never do that, even though I maybe I would one day, So basically, they had Ricochet come out on national TV and say he would fuck Maria. They legit had Ricochet say on national TV, "Oh, I would fuck Maria." All right, you're lucky, man. You're lucky, man. If you weren't hitting that, I would be the one hitting that. Absolute cringe, absolute garbage. Ricochet is officially buried in my eyes. You have Ricochet, one of the best wrestlers on your roster, in a storyline over Maria's baby identity. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? You're lucky. You guys are lucky it's late, or I would be probably screaming my ass off. All right? Absolute garbage. Ricochet is buried. So Mike, after hearing this, challenges Ricochet to a match. This was like 2-3 minutes at best. Ricochet didn't really want to fight Mike, but Mike kept going, and eventually Ricochet said enough's enough, hits him with the recoil, and gets the victory. We come back from commercial. This was not the fact that this wasn't even the end of this segment bothers me. We come back from commercial, and we have Maria talking to Mike. All right, from the top of the stage, Maria's like, what will it take to motivate you? I legit said that Ricochet was the father of my baby. Hopefully, the light of fire under you, but yet you come out here and you fail, like always. Like, damn. And Maria's like, yeah, of course Ricochet's not the father of my baby. But instead, WWE decides to go all the way. WWE decides to go all the way and have Maria say someone else is the father of her kid. And out of nowhere, Rusev. Yes, Rusev has finally returned to the WWE. I don't even remember last time we saw Rusev. All right, was he even on the WrestleMania card? I don't know. Maybe this also means that we could be seeing the return of Lana also to WWE TV. All right, now that Rusev is back, Rusev looks absolutely amazing. You know, he got a nice haircut and now he's rocking a pretty cool mustache. But you know, this made no sense to me because you had Maria come out and basically reveal, oh, look at this. And it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It makes no sense to me where they're going with this direction. You know, probably we'll hear something from the dirt sheets that WWE offered Rusev a huge deal to come back, and Rusev couldn't take that down. I'm willing to bet we're gonna hear that by Dave Meltzer or Ryan Saxon's bitch ass either tomorrow or the day after. Definitely, we'll have to wait and see. But what else? Rusev looks great in the ring. He got in to make very quick work of Mike Kanellis. Applies the accolade, makes Mike tap out. It's gonna be interesting to see because now you basically have to get Lana back involved. All right, per storyline, because now you have Rusev basically saying, "Oh, I am the father of Maria's baby." Well, not Rusev, but you had Maria review that, and then in a backstage interview on WWE's website, basically Rusev says, "I'm not answering any of those questions right now." All right, well, you just have to wait a little bit longer before we reveal the real true nature of all that. But you look at it all, and all I see is pure garbage. Ricochet being buried. I don't believe they actually did that tonight. Rusev, it was great to see Rusev back, but honestly, you brought Rusev back to be a part of a baby drama storyline that no one could give two shits about. Really? That's what we're doing? Absolute garbage. I don't know who decided to come up with that script tonight. Absolute garbage. Making me absolute sick. What else happened on this damn show? Alright. It's good to see Rusev back, yeah. But honestly, if this is the storyline they're using him for, then he should have never came back. Never. It was a waste of time. Alright. It was great to see Rusev back, man, but still. Waste of time. A little side thing, they had Mayor Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane, who is the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee. They had basically Kane give a tour to R-Truth over the entire city. And basically, this was all for Kane to set up a referee to pin R-Truth for Kane to become the 24/7 champion. Well, basically, the ref came and basically R-Truth tries to run away and he hits the goalpost. He hits a goalpost while standing on Tennessee's university field. All right, so he gets attack, but he gets pinned. Kane becomes the new 24/7 champion. Later in the night, R-Truth would regain the title from Kane, but that is that. Moving on. We had Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. This was not a bad match. They're clearly building Rey Mysterio back up with these good matches he's had the last couple weeks. I love Cesaro. I just wish he would get booked better. Wish he would get booked better because I think Cesaro should be a singles champion or at least in contention for one. The guy Cesaro legit has main event written all over him, but it seems like WWE really never pushed Cesaro the correct way. But this was a good match for what it was. All right, I love the dominance that Cesaro showed for most of this match. But Mysterio caught the Swiss Cyborg with a Canadian Destroyer and then hits the 619 for the win. So Mysterio gets a good win there. Good match between him and Cesaro. We'll have to wait and see where they go next for Rey Mysterio. I still want to see Mysterio versus AJ Styles. I tell you, I'm speaking that into existence. Lacey Evans versus Dana Brooke. I just want to skip through this match really quick. Didn't watch it I heard it was absolute garbage. I heard the sharpshooter that Lacey Evans pulled on Dana Brooke was one of the worst sharpshooters ever. Not really surprised. You know, I don't know why WWE is trying to build back up Lacey Evans. She is absolute garbage, but clearly Lacey Evans and Natalya are gonna continue their feud. Still pure garbage between those two. Getting into the women, this was the only real women's segment of the night. We've had Sasha Banks and Bayley going up against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. This was a non-title match. You know, Nikki and Alexa being the women's tag team champions and all. And just coming off the heels of, you know, Sasha and Becky's incredible match at Clash of Champions. And I've read the dirt sheets. Not read the dirt sheets. I read reports, and I'm gonna probably do a video on this here tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on when I have time. They are set planning for the plan, or at least the plans for Sasha and Becky at Hell in a Cell basically been revealed. You know, as much as I love Sasha, I'm gonna be honest here. This match versus with Alexa and Nikki, it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything special. All right, it wasn't anything special really. But honestly, I don't need to see Sasha and Bayley teaming together every single week. I really don't. All right, unless this is leading towards Sasha and Bayley winning the women's tag team champions, and then Sasha and Bayley leaving Hell in a Cell with both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles and the WWE tag team titles, then I don't see what was the point of doing this match tonight. All right, Sasha made Nikki tap out clean. Sasha made Nikki tap out clean. Alexa did get injured in this match per storyline. Basically Becky and Sasha attacked Bliss at ringside, slamming her leg into the steel steps. Bliss was carted off. All right. And basically she didn't return. I don't know if Bliss's injuries are actually real or not, or this is just for the storyline. All right, I'll have to give you guys an update on her condition in the next video. But this match wasn't bad. I loved Nikki. Nikki had a lot of fight in it with her. And basically, there was a point where Sasha attempted a baseball slide on the outside the ring, but Nikki used the ring apron to trap Sasha while she kept dealing with Bayley. Sasha was able to get out of there. Eventually, it took a while, but Sasha got out of there. Of course, best female wrestler in the world. And Sasha was able to get Nikki to tap out to the bank statement. All right. Problem I had with this, first of all, Bayley coming out. You're trying to make Sasha and Bayley look like heels, right? Sasha's doing everything in her power to try to get booed, even though the fans just won't boo her. It seems like no matter what she does. And I agree with you, Sleeping Angel. Sasha is the best female wrestler in the world. But when you look at everything, you look at it, you're trying to make Sasha and Bayley look like heels, right? But yet you have Bayley out there pointing to the crowd, saying, "Oh yeah, you want the inflatables." Like, what the hell are we doing here? Bayley and Sasha aren't heels. Sasha has way more edge than Bayley. All right, but Sasha and Bayley are legit not heels. They legit just can't get booed. And how you gonna get booed? Especially how they gonna boo Bayley when you legit have her with that hugger mentality every single week? All right, I keep saying it. Let her get rid of the ponytail, wear her hair down, get some new cool black makeup, some new ring gear, all right, some nice little black and gray ring gear. Get her a new Titantron, a new theme song, and you're good. But WWE continues to ignore me when I say this. Continues to ignore me when they say this. Bayley, right now, it's terrible because people, especially to the young kids, they can't figure out if the boo Bayley or cheer Bayley or whatever. Because at 1 second she acts like a babyface, then once she gets in the ring, she acts like a completely different person. All right, and I don't get it. I don't get it. But after the match, Bayley and Sasha were teaming up. It looks like they were gonna do. Sasha grabbed the chair and looks like she was gonna do her signature chair shots on Nikki Cross. But right before she gets the shot up, we see Becky Lynch come out. And I was happy because I thought they were legit gonna keep Becky off the show. All right, but Becky comes out with a chair of her own, and they kind of do something like some Dragon Ball, Star Wars type thing. And you have Sasha and Becky just throwing chairs at one another, one dodging the other, and the chair shots were actually connecting, and it was weird. It was kind of weird at first, but it was whatever. Then you have Bailey get in the ring, and it looks like Bailey and Sasha are gonna team up with Becky, and then Charlotte came out, and then Charlotte came out, got a chair of her own, and basically Becky and Charlotte are able to take out Sasha and Bailey. Clearly, they're gonna continue this into Hell in a Cell, and part of me, oh man, oh, I'm so happy they didn't do this tonight. Part of me was really concerned that they were going to announce at Hell in a Cell winner take all between Sasha, Bailey, Becky, Charlotte. So they were going to do something like Sasha and Bailey going up against Becky and Charlotte inside Hell in a Cell with the winner take all. I was really afraid they were going to do that. If they had announced that tonight, I would have lost my mind. All right. Yes, I did make a video saying I would like to see Sasha and Bailey go up against Charlotte and Becky in some kind of title match. But I was thinking, why don't you do that for Survivor Series? Because if Sasha's most likely going to win the title at Hell in a Cell, because Becky's going to be most likely they're going to move Becky over to SmackDown Live. So it would make sense. I was thinking, you want to do one more big time match before the brands become really separate. At Survivor Series, you're not going to have Sasha and Bailey go up against one another. They're best friends. So why don't you have either Sasha and Bailey go out and take the women's tag team titles from Bliss and Nikki? You could just have Sasha and Bailey win the women's tag team titles beforehand, and then you could do like Sasha and Bailey against Becky and Charlotte and some kind of winner take all at Survivor Series, but not in Hell in a Cell. Sasha and Becky, that's the only feud, and I guess you could say the Fiend and Seth. Those are the only two matches that are deserving of Hell in a Cell. I don't think anything you do on SmackDown Live tonight is deserving of a Hell in a Cell match. All right, simple. Period. Afterwards, we come back from commercial, and you have Sasha, who is pissed off in the backstage. You're pissed off at Becky, and basically Sasha challenges Becky to a rematch at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And she calls Becky a bitch. All right, absolutely love it when Sasha's this ultimate savage, badass mode. But Becky comes out with a pretty good promo, pretty good rebuttal, and basically she said, "Oh, I'll give you your rematch. I'm not done with you." All right, Clash of Champions was more about revenge than anything. How Becky wanted to get revenge on Sasha for the constant chair shots. All right, but they had. Becky basically said, "Oh, yes, we're going to continue this at Hell in a Cell, but I want to destroy you. Not at Hell in a Cell, but in Hell in a Cell." There you have it. Basically, it's official now. Sasha and Becky, they'll probably do some kind of contract signing either next week or the week after. But Sasha and Becky, Hell in a Cell. That should easily be your main event. Easily be your main event. If it's not for the Fiend character, Sasha and Becky is easily the best feud going on WWE television right now. I love the intensity these two are bringing to this program. It's what WWE's women division was lacking when Sasha was gone. All right, simple. But not a bad segment altogether. Wasn't perfect in any way. We'll see if Sasha pinning Nikki, since Sasha made Nikki tap out clean, that would basically put Sasha and Bailey in line for the women's tag team titles. I won't be surprised if next week we see a tag team title match between Bliss and Nikki and Sasha and Bailey. We'll have to wait and see next week. But the end the show tonight, we had Seth Rollins versus Bobby Roode. I didn't really watch the match. I was doing something else. But basically, Seth and Roode went at it. This was a physical match based off what I saw on Twitter. And Seth catches Bobby with a stomp. Then as Seth is going for the pin, going for the victory, he gets attacked by Dolph Ziggler, which called for a DQ. Seth still gets the win, but he wins the match by DQ. Then the OC comes out, Styles, Gallows, and Anderson, and they attack. Basically, all five of these heels are attacking Rollins, but all of a sudden we see Kane. Yes, we've seen Mr. Garbage, Mr. Get Off My TV himself. Kane returns. For the 1 millionth to one, for the 438th millionth time, we see KANE return. Absolute garbage. I don't care that we're in Knoxville, Tennessee tonight. All right, KANE, get out of WWE. Focus on your mayor duties. Your time ended a long time ago. Period. I've been saying this since we had Strowman, Lesnar, and KANE fight at the Royal Rumble last year. All right, that should have gave all indication that that KANE should have retired. But instead, you have KANE come out and destroy the OC. And then he also destroys Rude and Ziggler. Takes out all 5 men. He hit AJ with he hit Luke Gallows with a chokeslam, which didn't look bad. All right, they actually look bad. But we had KANE hit a chokeslam on Gallows, and then he hits a double chokeslam on Styles and Anderson. This would lead to Bray Wyatt coming out. We see the music, we see the lights, we see KANE just standing there in the ring, and in a way, it's kind of cool because KANE was always known for lighting up fire, bringing fire to the ring for his promo or for his entrance, which was pretty cool. But you had Bray Wyatt come out and do his normal thing. He hits the mandible claw. And I love it to the point where you can just hear. I know it's storyline. I know it's partly scripted, but you can just hear Bray just putting his entire hand inside of inside his prey's mouth. All right, and in this case, it was KANE. It was KANE. Like, dang, it's kind of cool, though, to see that the mayor, as much as this Nashville crowd was ass tonight, it was kind of cool to see the mayor in attendance once watching and enjoying Monday Night Raw tonight. But you had Bray Wyatt hit, I'm not sure. I don't think he hit Sister Abigail on. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember now. I'm losing my train of thought, man. It's 12:40. I kind of want to get out here and take a nap. But you see, he didn't hit the Sister Abigail on KANE, but he did have that mandible claw stuck in KANE's mouth for a pretty good grip. Afterwards, after he chokes out the big red machine, he stares down and a helpless Rollins that got taken out by the OC. So for the second straight night, we see the Fiend get the upper hand on Rollins. So the Fiend clearly has all of the momentum going into Hell in a Cell. But we still have 2 weeks, like I said at the beginning of the review. They still have 2 weeks. We'll see how they book Rollins. Because the Fiend, of course, he's going to always look strong. Because, like I said, Bray should not be losing at all. Bray should not be losing till around WrestleMania if you give him the title at Hell in a Cell. All right. But, yes, Bray has the advantage. It's going to be interesting to see how they book Seth Rollins in the next couple of weeks. To see if we should have any reason to believe Seth has a fighting chance against Wyatt. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Other than that, guys, that's about all I got for you guys today. I want to thank you guys once again for coming to the Monday Night Raw review. So very quickly, congratulations to Baron Corbin on becoming King of the Ring. Will WWE actually book him strongly going forward? I doubt it, but we'll have an idea to see what happens with Baron Corbin tomorrow night when he has his King of the Ring coronation ceremony. Sasha versus Becky, they're still continuing that feud. I loved it. Honestly, I just don't really agree more with Bayley and Charlotte getting involved in every single turn. Have Bayley and Charlotte do their own thing on SmackDown Live. Have Sasha and Becky do their own thing over here on Raw. All right. That's just my thing. I don't want to see Sasha and Bayley teaming up every single week. Like, there's no need for that. All right, no need for that. I understand they're best friends and all that, but in terms of WWE TV, we don't need that. We don't need that. We talked about King of the Ring. We talked about Bray Wyatt, the Fiend character, and how he's being booked strongly. And other than that, that's about it. That's about it. Nothing else really helped. This show was ass. This show was pretty ass. Other than a couple ups and downs, other than very few, maybe 3 or 4 positives max. This show was ass. This show was ass. Monday Night Raw, you need to get your act together. You have the draft in just about a month now, and you have Hell in a Cell, which Sasha and Becky should be main eventing. All right, you have that match, or you have that pay-per-view coming out in just 20 days. So WWE, get your damn act together. That's about all I got for you guys today. If once again, if you guys haven't seen the Classic Champions review, that review is live on the channel. Make sure to go check it out. I'm not sure if I'll be back with a SmackDown Live review tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. So follow me on social media. I'll let you guys know if we're having a SmackDown Live review tomorrow night. And let me know if NXT debuts on Wednesday. So maybe we'll start doing NXT reviews. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But make sure to check me out on social media. The links are in the description down below. If you guys are new to the channel, enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.